Hello, friends and co-workers. We welcome you on behalf of the Hechal Group, the Klangschale Group, and the 2025 initiative to the Creative Lab for Awakening the Souls of Nations. The Nations Lab serves as a collaborative hub for groups dedicated to the work with collectives in service to the vision and process of uniting nations. It is rooted in the principles of the Psychosynthesis of Nations. And we develop here together methods and skills which are needed for world work, for meditative action. Yeah, last month in our sharing and also in the responses that quite a number of you sent us afterwards, it became clear that we as a group, as an intergroup, we are ready for a next step in response to world need. I think we can say that as a community, as an intergroup community, we have moved through some phases that we can recognize, that we have prepared for a long time. And I think especially we have recognized them since the beginning of this essentializing year of 2025. We had the intergroup initiative telepathic experiment. It started already before 2025 as a preparation. It was all about establishing a horizontal telepathic field between groups, becoming more aware of each other and coming into resonance with each other as groups. And since 2025, we can say that the esoteric community has put quite some focus on becoming receptive to hierarchy, to align with the centennial conclave that is taking place during this year. We also learn to stand at the midway point between hierarchy and humanity, taking our place as the ajna center of the planet. Also, this has become much more conscious for many of us. And taking this position between the intended design and the present condition, between what is and what's the future. And taking responsibility for this relationship, and thereby becoming like transmuters. Things are, we are taking responsibility for an outer condition and work with it right in the group field. Yeah, more and more groups started to work like this. And now we are becoming aware of one more step that we are doing as an intergroup. And it's beautiful to see how it comes up in many different groups, actually the same recognitions. So this recognition, as we also said last time, a month ago, is about the importance to open to the energy of synthesis. To learn to become channels for this energy through the Christ, and also through employing our own soul light. And of course, in our own lives, in our groups, and also as an intergroup. And many of us across different teaching backgrounds, esoteric teachings, we feel the need to join forces, to bring together our different experiences, angles, knowledge, and to make it into a unified field, to act as a unified vessel and a relay station for this synthesis energy. Get to know it and learn to work with it. Learn to be a relay station for this energy. So here in the Nations Lab, we have the opportunity to experiment with this. We are groups from all kinds of shades of the esoteric community. And your responses last time made it clear that we are ready for what we have now called a meditative action, a service which we together as an intergroup will take responsibility for. We seem to have reached a point now where we can consolidate all that we have learned and worked through in the last years, and especially the last months since the beginning of this year. Bring it all into a planetary alignment, which we will rhythmically sustain. I think we can say that for groups that work with collectives, that do this collective work, many puzzle pieces seem to fall into place lately. And perhaps we could say it almost feels like a single line which we can trace from the avatar of synthesis down to the etheric body of our planet, and passing through our various collectives, through our nations. We get a sense that our long-trained alignment is being welded into a working channel. Sometimes I like to call it a Christ Avenue. So in its singularity, it sounds quite simple, but actually it's a very big step. So let's just reiterate our aim here in the Nations Lab is to contribute to the vision and process of uniting nations through awakening the souls of our nations. And there are many questions which we will meet on the way. We have actually started to make a list of these questions. Many more questions than what we can now put into a meditation outline, so to speak. So let's just mention some of them. Put it in the group field. And we will collect our questions together as we go. So we invite your questions also, everybody's questions. In the previous session, last month, we reflected on this principle of directed purpose and its three aspects, which DK has said is a requisite of working with the avatar of synthesis. So this is about understanding the divine plan intuitively and instinctually, and then interpreting it intelligently. And then learn to direct energies, this synthesis energy, according to some specific goal, some specific aspect of the divine plan. At the moment, we mostly have only a vague general sense, or maybe an experimental hypothesis about the specifics of the divine plan for humanity, for our collective. We can guess, we can intuit and instinctually pick up something. We are still in process of intelligently interpreting it, most of us. We know some aspects of it. We know that it has to do with the incoming Aquarian energies. And we have different guidelines that we have been given by our teachers. We have the laws and principles that DK outlined. But how to apply the synthesis energy to specific situations or locations, we have still little experience. So we will strive together to understand, to stand under the plan, and by sharing our experience, especially the aspect of how we apply it practically in our groups. How do we actually practically work for our collectives, for our specific service focus? We can learn together. One thing that we had a question, a hypothesis to be tried out, to be reflected upon together, is whether there is maybe an analogy between the solar angel of an individual and the avatar of synthesis. Both convey solar energy. And we know that the group heart may be the receptor of this synthesis energy. So it's uniting nations through the awakening of the souls of our nations. What does it actually mean to awaken the soul of a nation? Is it not more awakening to the soul of a nation? And thereby manifesting the soul presence on our planet. Yeah, and two more questions. We know that invoking the higher energy can mean also to deepen the crisis. So this is a moment of responsibility. We have this question, how much light is too much light? We don't know. So we embark on an experiment. And it's clear that we will make mistakes. And that we will have to shoulder the karmic responsibility for them. So perhaps we can take advantage at the moment of the Libra energy of balance as a guideline, finding a balance between the necessary learning and the necessary urgent action. So it seems we will do this action while we continue learning. Learning by doing. So one more question is about the devas. Last time in our sharing, the devas came up several times. And we know that new devas may be manifested by evoking the souls of nations, devas of synthesis. Today we will not get into this, but as we go on, we will. So today, let's just start by tracing one first line, drawing it from within our council chamber, from the avatar of synthesis down to the etheric body of the planet, through the Christ and through the souls of our nations. Let's see how this resonates with us. It's trial and error at the moment. The emphasis today will be on the heart as the main receiver and transmitter of synthesis energy. And for the heart quality, we will include a mantra which Asajoli crafted. Some of you may know and some not. And at the end also we will end the meditation with the mantra of unification. Yeah, so this will be just the first thread. And the idea is to work together to craft it as we go into a rounded out instrument, and it will become more precise. We will add aspects by sharing. So after the meditation, let us share our impressions, both what worked and what less resonated. It's also important to know what less worked for us, so we can tweak, can continue working on this outline. So we will now have a meditation, which Alexander will lead, and then a sharing, and in the end, another wrap-up meditation that Sabine will lead. Okay, so over to you, Alexander.
Thank you, Uta, and thank you, friends. Let us begin. Attune with your soul. Visualize us standing together in the council chamber. Our etheric group space, our laboratory, our relay station for the soul light. We align with each other with the love of our hearts and light of our minds. Weaving our group chalice with lines of light that unites us through space. We tune with the group heart, focusing our group intention to serve humanity, assisting in its evolutionary journey, revealing the soul light in each nation and the soul light of the one human family, ready to evoke and receive. We recognize our group heart as a point of radiant light within the planetary network of light, formed by all light workers in every land and every nation. We recognize each other and many more other light workers standing on the pinnacles of own nation, focusing and expressing the soul light of own nation. We are all united by our subjective unity of purpose in our service to humanity. Together we stand as one world servers group, one planetary server. We stand in the heart center of humanity, receptive and radiant. Standing in the heart of humanity, we visualize the channel of light, the Antahkarana of humanity. This all humanity rainbow bridge relates us as the heart of humanity to the heart of the spiritual hierarchy, the Christ. The Christ Avenue. We raise our collective group vibration, tuning in with the frequency of the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, taking our stand on its periphery. Together with the elders in the great ashram, we listen to the sound of the Christ. As we listen, we may start recognizing the note of the avatar of synthesis overshadowing the Christ. He, the avatar of synthesis, will convey to humanity, with the aid of the Christ, something for which we have as yet no name. It is neither love nor will as we understand them. Only a phrase of several words will bring to us something of the meaning. This phrase is the principle of directed purpose. Standing in the heart center of humanity, the World Service Group, in alignment with the planetary hearts, the hierarchy, we invoke the energy of the avatar of synthesis, pouring through the Christ to humanity. As a group, we sound the mantra of a channel. I am a channel for the will of God. I am a channel for the peace of God. I am a channel for the love of God to all mankind. With pure intent, I serve the whole. O thou river of miracles within me, pour thy waters of compassion upon the dead body of humanity. Bring forth thy resurrection and thy life to all mankind. Flow thy healing power and make man whole. We visualize the invoked light distributed to each nation through the planetary network of light workers. We see as the soul light of each nation is stimulated and radiates through the network of light within that nation, similar to the etheric web of Nadi in a human body. We visualize as the soul light of each nation reaches people in every land, touching their hearts and minds, and thus anchoring on the etheric plane, awakening people to the light of their collective soul and to the fact of unity of the human family. The sons of men are one, and we are one with them. We seek to love, not hate. We seek to serve and not exact due service. We seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love that underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate, and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all men love. Oh.
Let's just take another minute or two to let our impressions settle and prepare for our sharing. Yeah, okay. So let's open the floor for our impressions. And we would like to encourage you to also share what didn't work or what should maybe be improved or changed, and what, yeah, all kinds of impressions. This is a work in process. And especially also our questions, so we can address them as we craft this meditative action together.
This is Margot. No questions and no sense of anything to change at this point.
Margot, can you speak up a bit?
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So no questions at this point and nothing to change at this point. My first vision, if you will, was of a tombstone with a flowering bush in front of it, and then just space. And the second one was of an immense figure. It was the outline of a figure with no features recognizable, with a flock of birds circling around its head. And finally, just a waves of yellow golden light.
Mm.
Judy, you unmuted, but we cannot hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I would say that in connecting with the note of the Christ, It was really the strongest that I've ever felt in terms of a group being able to hold the note. Instead of just a grainy sound, which is often a note that I hear, there was really a beautiful wave that ran through it. And then when you next move to hear the note of the avatar of synthesis, I thought that was such a bold move. We always kind of bring a line to project it and imagine it, but to actually move into space and try to find the note and feel the note. And I actually sensed that this group could do that, that there really was a faint reverberation that was really pretty far out that came in and it met the Christ. I wasn't exactly sure where to bring that energy after the two unified. So that would be one thing that, and maybe it was me, but I held the energy, and yet how to utilize it most effectively was not quite clear enough. The other piece that was helpful but needed some kind of resonance was when we went to the soul of nations and then we connected with the positive light of all the peoples of nations. They were all there individually, but somehow I felt like we needed to go beyond the borders and be able for humanity to connect in a more holistic way. Because at the end, there were just nations with light, but there wasn't a unification of those nations together. So thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Good research questions.
Yes, Annette, and I want to underline what Judy said, this special moment, hearing the sound of the Christ and open to the note of the avatar of synthesis. And for me, the whole alignment, also starting with the strong heart energy, was really a action, an action of a service meditation. And I had at the end, for me, it was like standing in my nation. It was like I'm standing for a nation which is an individual of the one nation of the planet. So there was at least some energy of synthesis in my what I grasped. So, and also the words of Uta. So for me, it is a new understanding of where we will go together. So thank you so much.
I will share now. I experienced the alignment. It was easy and very clear. I received an image. The image was of Lourdes in France, in Lourdes. And I just want to clarify, I'm not a religious person. I don't practice my spirituality through a particular religion, but Lourdes came to me. And then the words that came to me in this way, I'm trying to make it simple, to work the world, to take the principle of working with interdisciplinary thinking. And I realized that Lourdes was a very good example of that because I saw when I visited there, every religion, even Buddhist. So this place attracts people from all over the world, and they have a point. They're all there together, praying together or whatever their method, And so I think that's even though a small example, it is an example of interdisciplinary inclusiveness of everyone. So, and humanity as a family. So, in the beginning of the meditation, when it was described of contacting synthesis energy from Shambhala, I was a little apprehensive because I know and I've read about how powerful that is and can be, but it turned out not to be a problem for me. And so that's my sharing, that to work with interdisciplinary thinking, and Lourdes' image and what happens there kind of brought that to me, that image. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie-Louise, for bringing this point. I think when we open to synthesis energy, we are actually, it demands of us to make this stretch, interdisciplinary stretch. Thank you.
This is Daisha from Canada. My experience was similar to Judy's, this sense of being able, as part of this strong group, to go higher and connect to an exquisitely fine, powerful energy. There was a real connection of almost a downpouring to the souls of our nations. And having worked yesterday with the soul of Canada in our group, there was a vibrancy. It felt like an awakening. I'll use that word. And thank you, Marie-Louise. This is group work for sure. And when we are together working so powerfully in group, we don't need to be apprehensive. We just need to show up and do the work. Thank you.
Andrea wrote, I too felt the power of the presence when we were asked to listen for the sound of the Christ. It became a gentle wind, a clarity that seemed to bring the listening attention to the deva of our group, to our intentions. A breeze within the vortex that we created and that we were within. Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah, hello, this is Jonathan from Portugal. Beautiful meditation, beautifully crafted and delivered, Alexandra. A couple of comments, and one is really possibly a suggestion. It has to do with the alignment, the building of the Antakarana, so to say. Around the orientation of the principle of directed purpose. So the alignment links the three planetary centers, humanity, hierarchy, and Shambhala. And that's a triangle. And then we might consider the higher triangle of the Lord of the world, the Avatar, and the Christ. So there are two interlinking triangles. And I don't know if it's important, but it feels significant to include the mention of, let's say, the Lord of the world in that higher triangle, because the principle of directed purpose, the energy of the avatar will pass through Shambhala, the Christ hierarchy, and then to and through the world group. And there may be some safety in that, in possibly including that triangle. The other impression has to do with the energy of synthesis itself. And one can at least say that it's an energy that's new to the planet, and it's being called in by Shambhala, let's say, and with the Christ and the hierarchy. The avatar's been called in, so to say, to assist with the planetary initiation. So it's new to our planet. And if we just think of the word synthesis, it's so much more than unity and diversity. It's a new state of being. It's the sum of all that was or is present, plus a new state of being emerging from that former state. And so as this new energy comes in, it both lifts up and out of that former state, which we know is one of separation and largely identification with form. So we can say at least that the energy that comes in is a new state of being that doesn't differentiate. It's achieved a stable, energetic condition that can never be separated as we know it. So this is maybe just to offer a concept of what might be this very new energy and its effect. And in terms of the principle of directive purpose, there might be something to work with, that humanity has existed in a predominant experience of separation, but a new state of being is coming into the planetary field. So we can perhaps consider via the Ajna Center to direct that purposefully. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan, for opening the door to very deep things. Yeah, it very much resonates with me. We are being lifted out of what we knew until now, our former state and identification. And opening to this synthesis energy really is, we need to be brave, because it will take us out of our comfort zone, out of the known. Yeah, into something that we don't know yet. And it's a transition. Who knows what will happen to us in this transition?
If I might share something that what Jonathan said just triggered, just to put into the group. He indicated that the avatar was to support the Christ in initiation. And all of a sudden it's something that has been kind of impressed in me, that there has never been the kind of mass or group initiation that the Christ will be standing and performing, if you will. It's a brand new concept and a new idea of supporting humanity to walk through the first door. And as he talked about directed purpose and also the avatar supporting the Christ, I think it may well be in this new venture of Christ being the one initiator for young humanity. Thank you.
Karen, your hand is raised, so please unmute yourself.
Any more impressions and questions, research questions, maybe?
I have only a practical thing, a small thing. The channel of the affirmation of the channel is fairly new. It would be nice to have it on the screen so we can better say it together with Alexander. Just a small thing. Thank you.
Mm. Yes.
I would like to share a question with the group, a question that we were considering in our working group session in preparation for today's meditation about distribution of the energy of synthesis. And it was our group impression that hearts of people is the quite precise and yet safe, seems like address where we can visualize anchoring this energy. But it's a question. It's a hypothesis, and so I want to invite us to reflect on this and share any impressions about that. If it's the right landing place for this energy, or should it be something more abstract?
Margot, my immediate sense, my immediate response to that question is it makes sense to me. And the heart, our heart, our group heart, and the heart in connection with the heart of the planet, with the hierarchy. And that my current understanding is that the purpose, or not the purpose, but the avatar of synthesis holds directed purpose, and that affects or causes the hierarchy to let go of what is not working in the plan, to open to the new that's coming from Shambhala. So with that connection of heart, it heart, grounded heart. Why not?
Maybe this question will become probably deeper as we go deeper, especially also considering that the Christ is the master of angels and of men. So once we get into more open up to the Deva cooperation, maybe we will also here have landing places, additional landing places perhaps.
I've just read about the three halls of learning, the halls of ignorance, of learning, and of wisdom. And it is, the method is science, philosophy, or religion. And these three paths of learning will eventually be one path. And when we are working with the avatar of synthesis, that is the one path. that we are working with. And it is a synthesis of matter, consciousness, and spirit. So I think the heart is a good way, entrance way. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette.
It seems that the heart is always the door to everything. And aside from that, I always just feel that the energies of the avatar synthesis are here. They're here. And how, I don't know, but they're just here for us. Thanks. My one understanding about the avatar is that he cannot descend any lower than the plane of abstract mind or the plane of buddhi. And so while you can call it heart, I was thinking of standing with the heart of the planet, which is with hierarchy itself in the plane of buddhi and receiving from there. I think to bring it into our personal hearts is just a power that we could not handle. Thank you.
I agree with that. Thank you.
I also agree with that. How I trace the line is a little bit like what Jonathan said, Shambhala, hierarchy and humanity, and we as the heart center of humanity, but also as the ajna center of the planet, we can receive the energy from Shambhala and hierarchy combined into the ajna center, where it becomes light, soul light. And this soul light, then, this is our task to convey further down as souls. It's soul light. And that can go then wherever we decide to direct it, yes, when we know a little bit better how to specifically direct it. But it is, for me, it is really directed as soul light, not specifically into the human heart. I agree with that.
Thank you for this very important conversation. I did hear a tweak as we develop skill in right relationship with this avatar. And I heard Jonathan's suggestion, at least I thought I heard it, that we consider the higher triad that historically for a long time we've been using the triangle of Shambhala, hierarchy and humanity. But as we move up to the avatar of synthesis, that we think about as it is taking on a very important cosmic descent, that we recognize the Lord of the world in unison with this as we develop clarity in working with the higher triad. there's a significance in that for me in our service work, that we are weavers in the light, and as weavers, the job has to deal with manifestation, and in order to achieve that, it seems to me the Lord of the world needs to be named in order to be precise in our landing of this avatar. If I didn't hear you correctly, Jonathan, please clarify. Thank you.
The Lord of the world seems to be a very tall order for me. And I'm just now, thinking out loud, sensing out loud. I think that's why I'm interested in finding out if there is a valid analogy between the solar angel and the avatar of synthesis. We know also, DK told us that the avatar of synthesis works through the Christ. So we have this connection to the Christ. Maybe, I don't know, it's a question. If we need to go through Shambhala, or if there is also a different path through the Christ directly. And for me to bridge for me it feels safe, for me personally, yeah, it feels safe to link through my solar angel, guarding the path to the higher realms. Yeah, so it's just a pondering in process.
I'd just like to thank everyone for their sharing. And my personal way of approaching will be to go back when the recording is up and listen and pause the recording and make some notes. Two overall things. First, to just add something to what Uta had said. At least if you're a follower of Dwal Kul's teachings, I believe it's an externalization of the hierarchy, possibly in the section when he discusses the impacts of each of the great invocations. It is the point that there is a direct line from the avatar of synthesis to the new group of world servers. And that, I do think, creates a triangle with the Lord of the world, at least in my mind. But it may assuage the concern of some whose minds are still working through these possible connections and where to make those connections. And in that relation, I would just like to say it always, when I'm listening, I think, all right, do I have any thought that is limiting the true understanding that there is no separation? And in my process, it is that the heart is the heart. We are connected, if you want to think of them as separate, but all the way up the line. And another of DK's writings, I can't remember if it's Cosmic Fire or if it's in Raisin Initiations, but it describes the descent of the energy from the central spiritual sun through all the hearts to the link into each of us in our heart center. So I have no worry about a meditation that kind of puts us in the frame of acknowledging that there is no separation. And however the individual and however the group aligns with the heart, we know that we are aligning with the central spiritual sun if we are utilizing the heart as our metaphor. And it, for me, it's just my lack of awareness of that greater heart. That's the way I personally interpret it if I lose the thread. But I will go back and listen very carefully to the wonderful contributions and this dialogue. It's very important. And my only closing idea would be I believe that the meditation should be used again. My practice would be to do it 3 times and then put all of the data, the suggestions, the impressions together before modifying it. That would be my idea. But thank you all for everything.
Thank you, Joe, for so clearly articulating what I was trying to say about the heart. And I agree 3 times. I thought the meditation was clear and precise.
Margot, it's difficult to hear you.
And I'm in the car. I'm sorry, I don't quite know what else to do. I was thanking Joe for so clearly articulating where I was coming from about the heart, but I don't have the knowledge or words to say that. And also, I agree about just using the same meditation 3 times because I thought it was clear and precise and yeah, leave it at that. And thank you all. Thank you for this safe container in which to do our work.
Thanks, Margot. And thanks, Joe. Yes, very deep.
I agree. Very deep. There's a thought that comes to mind is that the heart, the human heart, synthesizes the emotional experience. And the opening of the heart is to use the phrase, a sought after or sought for initiation for humanity by hierarchy. The opening of the heart center that unifies and resolves the polarizing experience of the astral body. So there's, in a sense, the energy of synthesis may have that effect of lifting humanity out of the polarizing identification of emotions and their opposites into the unified field of the heart. And then from that center, that achieved state, a new civilization can be outpictured. And there's a lovely phrase from one of the books relating to the avatar of synthesis, whose eye is upon, his hand beneath, and his heart in union with the Christ. So yeah, it's a chain of heart centers, isn't it, that brings through this new energy. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we are getting to the end of our deep meeting. Yeah, and let's keep all this in our brooding hearts until next session, which will be November 4th. And let's close now with a closing meditation that Sabine will lead us. Thank you, everyone, for this deep sharing.
Dear friends, let me now invite you for a final recollection in our council chamber, in the circle of elders in training, related to our nations and committed to our service of awakening to their souls. Let us take some deep breaths together, quite naturally. With every breath, we invite all the new that we heard and experienced today or tonight to ponder into our cells, into our group cells, and into the cells of all receptive humans. As a welded channel, we visualize the entering energy of the avatar of synthesis and hold this alignment from up to down through the Christ into the council chamber, into an awakening and amplifying of the soul energies of our nations, into the etheric body of the earth, from soul energy into outer expressions. Let us hold and activate this stream of synthesizing power for the highest good for all. And let us carefully learn to direct it as soul light into a future meditative action. So let it work out from today on until we meet again in the month of November. We will close our meeting with 3 Om. 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 Om.